All right. All right. I didn't want to go this deep, but I'm going to go this deep. Kind of speaking on what Charleston White was saying. Charleston White was saying some real shit. Cam Newton was saying some real shit. But we got to stop looking at rappers, preachers, activists, politicians to save us. Black people got to stop looking at a leader to take us to the promised land. Because who's the leader of the Jewish community? There is no leader of the Jewish community. Jewish community has an economic base for their community in America. Let's just talk about America politics. Let's just talk about America right now. Mexican people. What do Mexican people own in Mexico? Well, Mexican people are outside of white people, are the number one highest ethnicity in America. Black people is number 3. I could be wrong, but if I was a gambling man, I would say white and then Mexican and black. Black people only make up 12% of the population in America. What's the difference between Mexicans and black people in America? Mexico is right there. Mexico is the number 1 biggest import exporter in the United States. Facts. Number 2 is Canada. Maybe Canada is number 2. Maybe Mexico is number 1. I don't know you, but Mexico and Canada is number 1, number 2, bro. All right, facts. So the Mexicans already have a leg up, especially when it comes to politics. Mexicans don't even classify themselves as Mexicans a lot of time on their birth certificate. They classify themselves as white. So there's already a separation of identity right there. Let's just talk about black people. Black people, what college does HBCUs, what college do we own? Please leave a comment because I really want to know. I'm being very ignorant right now because I don't know. What black person owns a HBCU? What black family owns a HBCU, a historical black college? Why are other races allowed to go to HBCUs? Do we think that it's just only black people going to HBCUs? No. You got blacks, you got black, whites, and Mexicans. They go to HBCUs. Facts. A lot of these HBCUs are Christian ran universities. Can we not have that conversation? I'm going to say that again. A lot of HBCUs are Christian-based organizations. A lot of Christian churches cannot get loans through a Christian bank unless they preach the gospel according to their laws and regulations. This is a real fact. It's a fact. The Nation of Islam does not get, they do get white owned, they get white dollars. They do business with white people because they actually took their dollars and invested it in land, farms, the education of people within in their community, and they get government subsidiaries. But you don't even have a mosque. Nation of Islam, they don't have mosques. They have community centers, damn near. Have you ever been to a Nation of Islam church? It's literally a community center. It's women sit on one side, men sit on one side, and they got a projector screen. The one I can only speak on the one I went to in Salvador. They got a projector screen where they had a dude, and it wasn't Elijah Muhammad. I could be wrong. That's my understanding. If I'm wrong, y'all please leave a comment. Now, let's keep going. A lot of HBCUs are Christian-based schools. What is Christian, the religion Christianity, which is the biggest religion in America? Who runs that? Who runs the Christianity? Is it black people? Do black people decide what's being taught in Christianity churches? Because they don't talk about African history in these black churches. Yes or no? Have you ever been to a black church in the South? Baptist church in the South? Non-denomination church in the South that talked about African history? You can't. Now, I don't know how them folks up in New York do. Maybe they do. I don't know. But black people in America do not control their identity. They don't control their wealth. They don't control their religion. They don't control how they're being taught. They don't even control the food they eat. And none of us do. White people don't control the food they eat. White people eating the same bullshit that poor black people is eating. Poor white people is eating it too. Matter of fact, white people is triple times on welfare than on food stamps than black people. Facts. So what are we talking about? Every aspect of your life is being controlled. From the food that you eat is being controlled. Your water that comes, you can't even drink tap water, nigga. Your tap water ain't safe. Your tap water ain't safe. And that's coming from the city. That's coming from the government. You can't drink water. You can't drink bottled water. Plastic bottled water. All the harmful chemicals in that motherfucker. You can't eat motherfucking plants and vegetables at the grocery store because it's got so many chemicals in it. You only have two parties to choose from when it comes to your your political beliefs. When it comes to you being an indigenous black person that was already over here, you don't even know your own religion because it was taken from you. And if you did practice your own religion that you grew up to believe as a child, you was going to be castrated for, you was going to be killed and hanged for, you was going to be killed and hanged because if you practice the religion of your ancestors. I'm not talking about Christianity, and I'm just talking about the history. What about the education system? The education system was started by who? Who started the education system in America? Rockefeller, John D. Rockefeller. He's got a famous quote. I had to look this quote up. It was a black dude saying this. A black dude with I forgot the dude's name. It was a black dude saying this. And he got a famous quote that said that I don't train. I don't want to start an I'm not starting a school system in America to teach other Americans to be inventors and entrepreneurs. I'm making them. I'm butchering this quote, but he says I'm making the school system to teach Americans how to work in warehouses. That's why kids go to school for 8 hours a day. That's why they take a 30-minute lunch break and they take two 15-minute breaks. Where they do that at? In the warehouse. They don't take in account of kids. They don't mature kids' creativity. Why y'all think they took music out of school? Do we remember that? When I went to school, man, we was able to play the cello, we was able to play the violin, man. Say shit. These schools now ain't got no motherfucking instruments. You gotta go to church to get an instrument. The only instrument you gonna get out the church is a goddamn drum set. Ain't no kids learning how to play the fucking cello, violin, and the motherfucking trombone and all that shit. You gotta be in high school to do that shit now. And those schools are only teaching the things that can make you a productive member in society that will go along with the agenda of white supremacy, which is to be a worker, not to be a person with ingenuity. Why do I say that? Ooh, bitch, I got some information for y'all. This is real vague, but you can look it up. This is facts. It's a nigga in Africa right now that has created energy, like on some Nikola Tesla shit, where he is able to power houses not by oil, renewable resources, or anything like that, but by using frequencies and the energy of the earth. If y'all not seen this African dude do that, it's an African dude right now in Africa. He said he came up with this idea in the dream. This is a real thing. Y'all can Google this shit. It is an African man. I had it written down and everything, and I forgot where I written it down at. It's an African man right now in Africa that has created the Nikola Tesla machine, where he can get free energy and extract it from just the natural vibration of the earth and the frequencies that's in the air and the electrons and protons, all that shit. It's a nigga right now that has a literal machine that can power all of Africa. They can power everything, and it's free energy. That's a real fucking thing. It's another black dude. It's another black dude that I seen where you can take your car in right now. If it's gas run, you can take, let's say if you got like I drive a 2011 Nissan Murano. I could take my 2000 Nissan Murano to him right now, and he can make it into an electric car. He can switch out all the parts to make my shit not run off of oil and gas. He can make it. This is a real thing. These are black people creating this shit. Do you know why you have a furnace in your house? Why you got AC running through your house? A black woman created that. A black woman created a hot water heater. Black people are on the leading edge of technology. We have been that way for years. The reason why they don't want black people to be on the leading edge of technology is because we have a whole continent that you can fit America inside the continent of Africa like 3-4 times. That's how big Africa is. That's why Africa is so colonized right now. because all of the resources to build these things that they need, iPhones, a lot of material that they use for clothes and all this type of shit, bro. A lot of resources for batteries, lithium, bro. The slavery shit that's going on in Africa right now is crazy, bro. In the Congo right now, bro, you got kids that are being that are slaves. Look it up, bro. You can look this shit up. This is not no secret. There are kids. There is a literal. What is this shit called? Like a side of a mountain where it's like thousands upon thousands of people working for like literal pennies a day, and they are getting fucked up because they're slaves. They're slaves. They're literal slaves. Look up the Congo slaves right now when it comes to batteries. But you want to talk about Elon Musk and how much he wants to do for humanity. Elon Musk is using a lot of things for his batteries. He's getting that from free slave labor. Same thing with Nike. Same thing with anything that has to do with minerals and stuff that comes over here. Even Mexico, they damn near free. That's why the cartels is so big over there, because they like, man, fuck that. Y'all not finna pay us 10 cents for an avocado, my nigga. Nah, we gonna get these guns and drugs off. They got the perfect ecosystem to farm all these drugs outside of America. But America, there's so many laws and restrictions over here in America that they not gonna allow us to do that over here, because then they can't control the whole population. They can control Mexico and South America by laws and regulations, but they want to use their fertile grounds and their land in order for us to get drugs and vegetables and all that type of shit, this type of plants that we need for our drugs and stuff, to come over here and poison us, to keep us docile, to keep us like, oh, what about P. Diddy and them boys? You know what I'm saying? What about this? They want to keep us high. Because the biggest threat to America is, let me ask y'all this question. After this, I'm going to be quiet. What is the biggest threat to America? If you took 100% of the population of America, how much of that population would you say is billionaires? How much population would you say is millionaires? And what population would you say is super rich? Like thousands upon thousands, thousands upon thousands. They got that money. That's the three tiers. Then you got middle class. You got, I wouldn't even say middle class. You got below that, you got middle class, and then you have poor, and then you have extremely poor. Those you have 4, 5, 6, 7. You got 7 things, right? You got 7 tiers. What do you think at those 7 tiers would be the most people? The most people in that tier group would be the extremely poor, the poor, middle class, and the thousandaire group. You can just take those 3 groups. You can take the extremely poor, the poor, and the middle class. That would we outnumber them niggas we outdo them by 5-1. But you know how they keep us, the poor people? You know how they keep us deaf, dumb, and blind? P. Diddy allegations, Popeye's chicken, soda, bad food, bad health care, high taxes, all this other shit, race. We keep fighting amongst each other when the real battle is with the higher ups that are coordinating all of this drama. So in order for the rich to stay richer, it's trickle down policies. Facts. I want to do a whole capitalism. Capitalism is going to be the death of this planet. We're going to do a whole podcast about that next week. Hey, I've been drinking, bitch. Don't mind me.